Hey guys, I hope you're all doing really well. Today I'm so excited to share with you the fourth update for my Pan Those Eyeshadows project Pan. You guys already know I have so much fun with this project and I'm so happy to be doing it again for 2020. I was so inspired by my friend Alexi when I watched her do this 2 years in a row, and I have to give credit where credit is due. Like, definitely go over and check out her channel and check out all of her project panning inspiration. It's just remarkable, and I'm so thrilled to be doing this project yet again because I have so much fun with it. But I'm so excited to share with you guys all of my progress. Let's just hop right on into all of the eyeshadows. My first shadow comes from this palette right here. This is the Urban Decay Born to Run eyeshadow palette. This has been in this project for 3 months now, and the eyeshadow that I'm working on in this palette is called Wanderlust. It's this gorgeous, dirty olive kind of shade, and as I'm sure you can tell from back there, I did manage to hit pan on it this past month, so it actually only took me 2 additional uses from my last update, bringing it up to a total of 12 uses through this project. I had used this eyeshadow before putting it into this project pan before, and honestly, I was really digging into my into the pan. I was going right towards the center because I was using this often as a eyeliner, and it is a glittery shade, but I felt like it looked really nice as like a smoky winged liner look. So that's mostly how I wore it through this project pan. So I was able to hit pan very specifically and directly, and that's how I think I managed to hit pan in 12 uses as well, because I was really targeted in where I was reaching for the eyeshadow. It is such a beautiful shade. I love this like grungy, I always call it like a dirty green kind of color. I love it. I feel like it's so flattering on my eyes. I have really dark brown eyes that have some green in them. So green always just like helps to pull out that green and make my eyes look more bright and light. And I love this shadow. And I wore it so many different ways, but mostly as that smoky liner, and I think it just really drew a lot of attention to my lash line and to my eyes, and I just really loved it. But I'm happy to be rolling this out of this project. As you can see, this palette is so well loved, so I'm excited to roll something new in its place at the end of this video. My next eyeshadow comes from this amazing palette. This is the Milk Cosmetics Gemini palette. It's an absolute favorite of mine, if not like at the very top of my palette favorites. And so I was just so thrilled to roll this into this project 2 months ago. The shadow that I'm working on is also called Gemini from this palette, and it is one of the 2 shimmers. So it is this more coppery rose gold kind of shimmer shade. It's a beautiful shadow, but it is high maintenance for sure. And as you can see, there is a ton of like fallout and just like lots of grub all over the palette, even like in the fold here as well, because now that I've gotten into this shade, it really is starting to flake and become, I don't know, it's starting to crumble apart a little bit. So I, always have to use either a glitter glue or a wet brush to apply this, but I also really have to be very careful that I'm not just completely demolishing the shadow in the pan as well. So I've kind of just been smushing it back into place. So that's why I haven't hit pan on it, and that's why it doesn't really look as disrupted as I feel like it should be at this point. I have only used it 4 times this month. Today is that 4th time, and I'm wearing it on my lower lash line. Today I'm also wearing it on my lid, but then I put Colourpop Tea Garden on top of it, and I freaking love the way that these shadows combine. It's like my favorite way to wear neutrals, but I love it. Like, it has that hint of green and that hint of warmth. It's beautiful. By the way, maybe I should actually swatch this so you guys can see what this shadow looks like. But it is this stunning foiled coppery shade, but it is high maintenance, like I said. I'm enjoying using it. I'm enjoying reaching for the palette as a whole regardless. And I have used this now 10 times throughout this project, which I think is definitely an improvement for me. I feel like I hadn't reached for this palette even 10 times in all of 2020 before putting into this project. Last update, I actually rolled in 3 new shadows. So all of these next 3 have only been in the project for a month, but I do have some really good progress. So let's just hop into those ones. The first one, I had swapped out one of the shadows from my ABH Norvina Volume 1 palette, and I ended up swapping in for something new from this palette as well. So now I am working on the shade D1 right here, which is the matte like more true yellow. It has a slight mustardy tone. Let me just swatch it actually. It has a very slight mustardy tone to it, but there is a more true mustard in this palette as well. And it's actually such a beautiful shadow. It's not the best performing yellow in my opinion. I do find that it can be quite patchy and sheer and it takes quite a bit to build it up. But I have managed to make a decent dip in it, which is just insane to me. And I've been pairing it with this yellow gold a lot and it's so beautiful together. So I wore those together like 3 times, I think. Altogether, actually, I did use this shadow 6 times in this project. And I'm sure from there you can't really see, but there is a little bit of a dip starting to form in there. This shadow specifically looks so much more disrupted than the pink shade that I used for 3 months in this project, and I'm so happy about that. This is definitely something I'm going to be able to eventually hit pan on. By no means do I even think I'm close. This is quite a densely packed shadow and I don't really have a dip. I just have a little bit of, you know, usage showing on the top. It's so funny that now that I'm reaching for the yellow versus the pink, I'm just preferring to reach for this palette more and I find myself enjoying this palette so much more. But yeah, eventually I'm sure I'll be able to hit pan, just not really anytime soon, I don't think, but it's such a gorgeous shadow and it looks so good with this one from Melt as well. I wore them together a couple times actually and they're so beautiful. And my next eyeshadow comes from this little sleek palette. This is the Eye Divine Storm palette and the shadow that I'm working on, oh my gosh, why can't I open this? The shadow that I'm working on is called Perfect Storm and it's this gorgeous like rosy kind of color. I don't even know how to describe this. It's like rose, but it slightly has like almost a bronze kind of undertone to it. I don't know. There's something very beautiful and transformative about it. Today I'm wearing it in my inner corner and I do think that although it looks kind of pink, it still pulls almost a little bit more coppery in the context that it's in. And I think that it can really transform depending on what you put it in combination with. But either way, it's a stunning color, and as you can see, I haven't hit pan on it yet, but it does have a little bit of, again, disruptance on the top. There is not a definitive dip by any means, but it definitely does look loved and does look used, and it has been. I've used it 6 times this month, and that's more than I've ever reached for this palette, like ever. I had not used this palette 6 times ever before putting it into this project, so I'm so happy to be reaching for it because I've come to fall in love with a couple of these shadows. Like that gold is actually quite nice. It's more of a shimmer finish, and then this like highlighter shade here, ooh, I really like it on the inner corner. So I have been enjoying this. I'm happy to be reaching for it, and here's a swatch of it. I think it pairs so well with that copper shade, like I said, from the Melt palette. And I'm just so happy to be working on it and happy to be reaching for this palette. And the last shadow that I'm currently working on comes from my Revolution Soph X Revolution Extra Spice palette. It is so blinding. I'm so sorry. So let's just hop into it. The shade that I'm working on is this one right here called Cookie Dough. It's a mid-toned neutral brown kind of transition crease color. Today I'm wearing it really blown out, actually like super close up to my brow bone and out towards like the end of my brows as well. And I feel like it just goes onto the skin so smoothly and so effortlessly. As you can probably tell, I have a huge dip happening in here, and honestly I think I might even be able to hit pan on it when I'm about to swatch it for you. I don't know. I'm so close, and I've used this now 10 times. The chocolate orange shade, which I had previously in this project as well, it only took 10 uses to hit pan on. So I know I'm super close. I could have pushed this update, but I'm just so excited. I get so excited to update these videos and to like pull something new into this project. So I didn't want to hesitate to do that at all, but I know I'll be able to hit pan on that shadow very soon. I just swatched it and I didn't end up hitting pan on it, which is probably a good thing, but there we go. The dip is massive. I have only a couple uses left in this for sure before I hit that goal of hitting pan. So now for the most exciting part, at least for me. I love drawing in new eyeshadows to this project pan. It's just so much fun to see what else I'm gonna work on. I'm loving the color story that I have currently going. This has just been the most fun for me out of all of my color stories so far this year. It's just the most my kind of colors, the ones that I'm most drawn to, and I just jive with how this all looks together. It's just perfect for me. So I'm really hoping that the next shadow that I pull kind of works with these. I'm really hoping. We'll see what happens. I'm always up for a challenge, but this is what I'm feeling right now. Like this is my jam for sure. Anyways, I'm going to pull a new eyeshadow from my spreadsheet. I have now 292 eyeshadows in my spreadsheet. I purchased the Juvia's Place, the Magic Mini palette, and then I've also decided that I'm going to put all my liquid eyeshadows into the spreadsheet as well. If I were to draw one of those to work on in this project, there is no pan to hit in those products, so I'd like to just use them 15 times. It's that threshold that I use for my powder eyeshadows anyways, like in order to roll them out of this project. So that's what I'm gonna do with my liquid shadows if I were to pull one. But anyways, I just wanted to explain to you why my number is so high. So let's just pull up the Pretty Random app. I have variables 1 to 292 in the app, and we're gonna draw a number. So the number I got is number 43. That's really high up. I'm very curious to see what that is. So I'm gonna go check my spreadsheet and I'll be right back to share with you guys what shadow that is. I'm really excited about the eyeshadow that I drew and how it's going to work with all of the other eyeshadows and just in my day-to-day life. I'm so thrilled about this, okay? So the eyeshadow palette that I selected is the Dream Street palette by Kathleen Lights and Colourpop. This collaboration palette is so beautiful and I don't reach for this enough, so I'm really excited about this. And I recently was trying to depot this. I was thinking about putting it into my magnetic palette and just use it that way, but I ended up popping it all back into the palette. I know regardless, but I actually accidentally hit pan on this shadow because I dug my little makeup spatula like pretty hard into this pan, but that's not the shadow I'm working on, okay? I don't know, I just am in a chatty mood because social interaction has been to a very minimum as of late, like for far too long. But anyway, so the eyeshadow that I'm working on is actually this one right here called Moony. It's a beautiful shimmer eyeshadow, maybe a satin kind of finish actually, and it's a nude shade. And I think that's gonna be just perfect to highlight my brow bone or to wear like as a one and done kind of eyeshadow look. It is gonna be a beautiful addition to this little color story here too. So I don't think you'll even really be able to tell where it is, but it's just underneath of that cookie dough shade right there. It just offers so much sheen. I can probably wear this as a highlighter on my cheeks. It's gonna take me a little while definitely to hit pan on that shadow since I don't have a ton of wear on it right now, but I think it's something that's completely doable and I'm really looking forward to using it and seeing this palette look more loved too as well. That's something that I'm really excited for as well. So I'm really excited about all 5 of the shadows I'm gonna be working on for this next month. I think realistically I should be able to hit pan on definitely one, cookie dough for sure. I might be able to hit pan on a second shadow for this next month, but either way, I am so excited and I'm really happy to be seeing this color story. So thank you guys so much for watching and for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.